Yeah, that Liver King thing though, that was actually hilarious. I was shocked that that was even a bit of news. I was like, guys, you're telling me you honestly thought this guy was that he looked like that, eating nothing but liver, and then like he would say he slept on hardwood floors because he wanted to live like a primal being. Like Joe Rogan also talked about. I saw a clip. I don't watch Joe Rogan actively, but I saw a clip on TikTok of Joe Rogan talking about it, and Joe Rogan was just like, "Yeah, no, he's had him and like all of his people trying to get a hold of me and get on the podcast. Like apparently for like a year, Liver King's whole thing has been that he wants to be on the Joe Rogan Experience, and that's like his life goal. And Joe is just like, no, dude, you like scam people out of money and got them to buy supplements. Like, no, I'm not going to reward you by being on the podcast. And like, what do you have to say? You're just going to get up here and be like, eat liver and nothing else. Like, meanwhile, we all know you're on HGH. Like, come off it. Come on. No, his thing, Brandon, I agree. It's not just steroids. His thing is that he was taking HGH, which is human growth hormone. So when you take that, it causes everything to grow inordinately. And it's what like top of the line Olympian bodybuilders use. It's something that like I don't think it's the same thing that Andre the Giant had, but there's some people that can't regulate human growth hormone, and it's what causes them to just grow crazy big. Like a lot of bodybuilders, people like that will use HGH in combination with steroids because HGH causes you to grow while steroids basically lets you work out and then recover super quickly so you can just work out. But the big myth of steroids is that you can just like take them, not work out, and then be fine. Whereas like steroids just kind of empower you to go and work out like relentlessly. Rogan, I think though he's just on like he said openly he's on testosterone replacement therapy, so TRT. He does stuff like that. Looking at Joe Rogan, I wouldn't say I think that he's taken like insulin and HGH and stuff like that. I don't think he has a crazy stack. I just think he's like a 50-plus-year-old man who's taking a bunch of testosterone so he can still work out. But that's honestly, it's pretty common. A lot of like my old boss, he would have testosterone injections just because he wanted to stay active and fit. And so he would get testosterone injected because when you're older, your body doesn't naturally produce as much. So he would get that injected and it would help him work out more. Rogan has low T. I think everybody starts to get low T when they're in their 50s. It's just part of getting older. But he's got the money to just throw it at doctors to put him on testosterone so he can keep working out. When you take tests for years and years, your body stops producing and causes you... it's getting it from any. Yeah, no, exactly. Eventually your testes shut down and like, okay, so you don't need us anymore. Okay, we'll go away. We'll stop. It's why like I have some people in our family who are bodybuilders and pretty successful ones at that. And they are still like in the heat of their prime. Like they're still taking stuff and still working out like crazy and everything. But the whole thing is like you go on these cycles for each of whatever your stack is basically. But when you come off of it and say you took something that causes your testosterone to peak like crazy, what happens to a lot of bodybuilders if they're not careful is they'll get off of testosterone. But if they don't put in like estrogen blockers as well, when they get off the testosterone, they have zero testosterone being produced naturally, but they're producing estrogen naturally at the same levels. So like these huge bodybuilders will just grow like breasticles on their chest. And they're like, what the hell happened to me? I don't know what's happening. And it's like, well, yeah, because like you screwed up your hormone levels so bad. So then they have to get off of this whole stack where they are boosting testosterone levels. And then they have to go and block the production of a bunch of natural hormones that their body wants to make. And so like the moment you start messing around with your body's hormones, you're pretty much setting yourself up where you have to, you're going to have to stay on hormone like blockers and boosters and all sorts of things for the rest of your life, because your body's levels are just totally thrown off. It's wild. Luke, do you take testosterone to provide us with this much awesome content? I also wonder how much T Nadia takes to be built different. Testosterone and G Fuel. Yeah, it's a good question. How much does she take to be built different? Considering how short she is, I don't think she's taking enough. But I think like I'm not on anything. I've never been on anything. But yeah, like I'm not gonna shame somebody if they are on testosterone. I do think it's funny that like Rogan might give people crap for being on hormone replacement therapy, and then meanwhile he's on it. But he's like, well, no, it's different because I want to be able to work out. Like, okay, dude. Okay. He took my thing.